We're at 624 North Tracy.
Who are you?
I am Susie Mathre.
This is a nice neighborhood. Is this the bohemian part of town?
Maybe, or becoming gentrified bohemian.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a look around. You've done some things here?
I certainly have. Quite a few new things in the last 2 years. So this is my new art studio. And I used to be in the Emerson Cultural Center for over 25 years. And then I decided to move home. So I had this, I designed it and had it built. It was finished 2 summers ago. And so because this got built, they tore up most of the backyard. So this is the second season of plants in these 2 gardens. And I got the idea for the keyhole from permaculture. And we had a gal talk about permaculture at the garden club, I think 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And so I was interested, and I got a book, and it talked about how this shape called a keyhole is a more efficient shape for a small space.
Oh, okay.
So I designed and built these. They're 16 gauge steel, and they're all bolted together. And so I had to do a lot of digging and trenching, and you can see there's an outer rim outside of all these that there's a gravel gutter around them, so that when I mow, I have to do a little less trimming. I had to put a fence up because there are rabbits in the neighborhood, and dogs and cats, and so this year I did kale, the bok choy's already done, arugula, parsley, cilantro, fennel. I think about 5 or 6 different varieties of carrots.
Great.
Provider beans, which are ready to pick, and then green arrow peas. So I built these beds 3 summers ago in the fall. So they're 16 gauge steel, which is 1/16 of an inch thick. And these pieces are all, I think I did 12 inches high. So they're buried about 4 inches into the ground. You just see the top 8 inches. And then they're bolted together, and these end pieces, I had them do a 90-degree bend on either side. And then the longer pieces consist of 2 long lengths that I had bolted together. And then surrounding this, there's a whole nother outside layer of steel that holds the gravel in and keeps the grass from growing into there.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see that there. I decided to put my tomatoes over here, and I decided to try and build a trellis because last year my tomatoes grew out of the beds and started to kill the grass because they got so overgrown. So I'm experimenting with trellising these and suckering them, and so I'm hoping that they'll get tall, and they're starting to get there. So I built this trellis this year, poured the concrete posts and designed this, and
I see. It's got some what are those on the top? Little clamps?
Yeah.
Okay. Just an easy way to do it.
Well, I wanted it so that I can take this all down in the wintertime.
Oh.
So the posts will come out, and then also next year I'll trellis something different, and I may have more upright. So I wanted it to be flexible.
So it's flexible that way.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah. So this was kind of phase 2. So I built these beds last summer, but didn't plant them until this year. And then so I've got potatoes, got eggplant in here, which I've got a few fruit on there. I've got squash and cucumbers in that bed, and then I have 3 varieties of corn in that bed. And some of them look like they're just starting to get ripe at this point, which is kind of exciting. So this is a perennial bed that I planted last year, and the idea was to have plants down there that are more water tolerant, drought tolerant, and then plants up here are more shade tolerant, and plants over here are obviously shade tolerant. So hopefully in maybe another year when they're more established, I won't have to water hardly at all, is the idea. So there's no irrigation in there. It's all hand watered at this point. So this is more redoing the landscape. So I built these steel beds last fall, and I haven't quite finished them, so I decided to put annuals in here this year. These are all plants that I started in my house. So nasturtiums, cosmos, bachelor buttons, and some zinnias, the green zinnias, and the 4 o'clocks, which are just starting to bloom. So this is 1/8" steel. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This should last a few centuries.
I hope so. Yeah.
And why did you choose the steel, both for looks and resistance to ever rotting?
Yeah, looks, resistance to rotting, the effect that I can curve it. As you can see, I kind of like to do arcs and circles, and the structural aspects of that are advantageous. So this is one of 2 rain barrels. I have another one over there. They total, I believe, 250 gallons. And I think I did the math on this roof. If we get 1 inch of rain, it's like over 900 gallons of water.
Oh, so it's more than enough.
So it's more than enough to fill. So these aren't quite finished. I eventually want to put cedar tops on them, and then with a lid, and then I'll be able to lift the lid and scoop out water if I want. Because right now the netting makes it a little bit hard to access that. But you have to have this, otherwise mosquitoes will start to breed. Yeah.
You've got a spigot on the bottom.
Yep. So, you know, on, off. And eventually I'll have an overflow spigot. I'm not sure where, probably on this side. But so it's still a work in progress. I've figured out one sort of sprinkler that I can actually put on it, and it has just enough pressure to barely seep out some water. Yeah. So these are compost bins that I just finished building about 3 weeks ago, and my shed just got finished built this spring. So this is phase 3.
Oh, so this is a garden shed here.
Well, it's a tool shed. Yeah, garden shed. Yeah. And then I'm just starting to re-landscape this whole back area, and hopefully that'll be done by fall or spring. And then my goal is to redo the front yard as the last part of the complete redo of the lawn and the yard. So.